Hi, I am Sheikh Mahbub Basha. Welcome to my channel. Happy learning. Refraction of light at curved surfaces. Focal length of the lens. A parallel beam of light incident on a lens converges to a point as shown in the figure 8a. Here these are all parallel rays. They are all converged to a point. They are all converged to a point. The point of convergence. The point of convergence is called focal point or focus. The point of convergence is called focal point or focus, and it is denoted by letter capital F. Here it is. This is a biconvex lens. In case of a concave lens, biconcave lens, a parallel beam of light incident on a lens seems to emanate from a point on the principal axis as shown figure 8b. So these are parallel rays. From the other side, it appears to be they are all coming from a point on the principal axis. So they are coming from this point on the principal axis, and that point is the focus. The point from which the rays seems to emanate, the point from which the rays seems to emanate is called focal point or focus. This point is the focus. Here the rays are converged, so this is focus. Here the rays are seems to be emanate from this point, so this point is the focus. So focal point or focus. Okay. Every lens has two focal points. Every lens has two focal points. The distance between the focal points and optic center is called focal length of the lens and is denoted by F. The distance between the focal point and the optic center is called focal length of the lens and is denoted by F. So this is the optic center and this is the focus. This distance between this optic center and focus, this distance is called focal length. Here this distance is called from this point focus to the optic center. This distance is called focal length. Next. Here parallel rays are coming. These rays are parallel to the principal axis. They passes through a convex lens. This is biconvex lens. They all pass through a point, or you can say converge to a point. They meet at a point. That point is called focus. That point is called focus. And this distance from center to focus is the focal length, small f. Okay. Next. For this concave lens, biconcave, this is concave, this side is concave, so this is a biconcave lens. These parallel rays, after passing through the lens, these are the rays after passing through the lens, they appears to be originating from a point on the principal axis. They appears to be starting from this point on the principal axis, and this point is called focus. Distance from focus to lens is called focal length. Okay. Next. How does the lens form an image? To know the information of image by lenses, we need to know the behavior of light rays when they meet a lens. Though we know the lens has two surfaces, while drawing ray diagrams, we can consider the lens as a single surface because we assume that the thickness of the lens is very small and show the net refraction at only one of the surfaces as shown in figure 8c and 8d. Let us see what it is. So here in place of convex lens, you can use this symbol double arrow headed line to represent the thickness is negligible. It is treated as a thin line. Similarly, in case of concave lens, observe this arrowhead, this is reversed. So in case of concave lens, instead of thickness, it is represented by a single line, and these arrowheads represent that this is a concave lens. Next. So instead of this convex lens, you can use this symbol to represent that it is a thin lens, and it can be treated as a very thin and a single line. Similarly, for a biconcave lens, you can use this symbol. These two diagrams are exactly equal. In place of a biconcave lens, you are using this symbol. Okay. Next. So these are the four diagrams. This is convex lens, and this is symbol for convex lens. This is a concave lens. This is symbol for concave lens. Okay. Next. Behavior of certain light rays when they are incident on a lens. The behavior of a light ray when it passes through a lens can be understood by observing its behavior in the following situations. So, behavior of certain light rays when they are incident on a lens. So, this is situation 1. Ray passing along the principal axis. Situation 1. Ray passing along the principal axis. Any ray passing along the principal axis is undeviated. So, this is a convex lens. A ray passing through this principal axis is continuing its path along the principal axis. There is no deviation at all. Similarly, here for a concave lens, the light ray passing along the principal axis has no deviation. It continues the path along the principal axis. So this is the ray along the principal axis. After passing through lens, it continues its path. So any ray passing along the principal axis is undeviated. Next. Situation 2. Ray passing through the optic center. Ray passing through the optic center. Any ray passing through the optic center is also undeviated. So here this is a convex lens. This is a ray passing through optic center. So after crossing the lens also, its path is same. It is undeviated. Similarly, in case of a concave lens, this light ray is passing through the optic center and its path is undeviated. It continues along the same path even after crossing the lens. Okay, next. Situation 3. Rays traveling parallel to the principal axis. Rays traveling parallel to the principal axis. These are rays parallel to the principal axis. When they pass through a convex lens, they are converged to a point, and that point is the focus. We know that the rays passing parallel to the principal axis converge at the focus or appear to diverge from the focus as shown in figure 8c and 8d. Here for a convex lens, they converges. Here for a concave lens, they appears to be coming from one point. So here they are separating. So this is called diverging. Diverge means starting from a point and getting separated. That is called diverge. Converge means they are grouping to a point. So converge means grouping to a point. Diverge means leaving from a point. Okay, next. Situation 4. Ray passing through focus. Ray passing through focus. Light ray obey the principle of least time. Hence, the ray passing through the focus will take a path parallel to the principal axis after refraction. So, the ray starting from the focus becomes parallel to the principal axis after crossing the lens. Once again, this is a convex lens. These are the rays starting from focus. After crossing the lens, they become parallel to the principal axis. Similarly, in case of a concave lens, these rays are trying to reach the point P, but after crossing the concave lens, they become parallel to the principal axis. The rays trying to converge, trying to reach the point focus, they are becoming parallel to the principal axis after crossing through the lens. What happens when parallel rays of light fall on a lens making some angle with the principal axis? This is a convex lens. If the parallel rays are converged, these are parallel rays, these are all parallel rays, but they are not parallel to the principal axis. They are also converged to a point called focus, but this focus is not on the principal axis, but it is on the plane containing this principal axis. So this focus on the principal axis is called principal focus, and this point is called focus. This is one focus, this is one focus, this is one focus, this is one focus. This focus is, this point is particularly on the principal axis, so it is called principal focus. Similarly, in case of a concave lens, parallel rays are incident. These parallel rays, after passing through the concave lens, they refract in such a way that they are all started from a point. They are all started from a point. That point is called focus. This point is a focus. This point is also a focus. This point will be a focus. This point is also a focus. This point is also a focus. This point, which is called focus, is also lying on the principal axis. So this is called principal focus. Among all these points lying on this line, every point is focus, but this point is called principal focus. That means main focus. When parallel rays making an angle with the principal axis fall on a lens, the rays converge at a point or appear to diverge from a point lying on the focal plane. Focal plane is the plane perpendicular to the principal axis at the focus. Note this point. Focal plane is the plane perpendicular to the principal axis at the focus. Okay, right. For locating position and to find the size of image, we need two rays. For locating the position and to find the size of image, position, size of image. One is position and the size. Position and the size of image. We need two rays out of four rays that were mentioned in the situations. We have discussed 4 situations. Situation 1, situation 2, situation 3, situation 4, like that. From that 4 situations, choose any two situations to locate the position of image and to find the size of image. Point number 1. Select a point on the object placed at a point on the principal axis. So, object is placed at a point on the principal axis. Select a point on the object. Draw two rays that were chosen by you from rays mentioned in the situation 1 to 4. Extend both rays to intersect at a point. This point gives position of the image. Draw a normal from point of intersection to the principal axis. Length of this normal represents the size of the image. So, to understand all these points, to understand all these points, let us draw different diagrams. We can learn and we can understand what are these points. For 5-6 different situations, let us draw the ray diagrams from which we can find the nature of the image, size of the image, and position of the image for a selected object position. Okay, right. Rules of ray diagrams. Rules of ray diagrams. First rule: ray coming parallel to the principal axis. So this is the ray coming parallel to the principal axis, passes through the lens, refracts, and it passes through the focus. So after passing through the lens, the ray passes through the focus on the other side of the lens. Then second rule: ray coming through focus. If the incident ray is coming through focus, then after passing through the lens, it becomes parallel to the principal axis. The ray becomes parallel to the principal axis after passing through the lens if it is coming through focus. Okay. Next, rule 3: ray coming through optic center. Ray coming through optic center. If the ray is coming through optic center, after passing through the lens, the ray will not deviate. There is no deviation at all. So this is our principal axis. Let this be optic center P. Okay. So focal length of the lens, I am taking 2 points. So then the center of curvature, this is F1 and this is C1. Similarly here, F2, this is C2. And let me draw the lens here. This is convex lens, right? Then select an object beyond C. So somewhere here there is an object right. Now select two rays. One ray is parallel to the principal axis. One ray is selected parallel to the principal axis. Then because it is parallel to the principal axis, after passing through the lens, it should pass through the focus. So according to the rule, it should pass through the focus. So this is the emergent, or you can say refracted ray. Right. Then select another ray passing through the optic center from the head of this object. This you can say object, from the head of this object passing through the optic center. It should pass through the optic center. Right? So this is one ray. A ray passing through optic center will not deviate, so it moves undeviated. So this point of intersection, here at this point of intersection, we get the image. So here is the image. Okay, and it is inverted. So here object is beyond C. Object is beyond C, whereas image is a real one, inverted, diminished, formed between F and C, between F and C. Okay, so for the object beyond C, this is C, much away from C. If the object is beyond C, the image is formed between F and C. So how we draw this? Two rays are selected. One ray is drawn parallel to the principal axis. According to the rule, this ray which is parallel to the principal axis, after passing through the lens, it should pass through the focus on the other side. Next, one more ray is selected starting from the same point of the object, but it is passing through the optic center of the lens. So the ray which passes through the optic center will not deviate, so it passes along the same straight path. And this intersection point from the principal axis to this intersection point, draw the line, you will get the image. So here it is below the principal axis, that means it is inverted. So image is real, inverted, diminished, that means compared to this object its size is small, so it is called diminished, and its position is between F and C, in between F and C. Similarly, we will draw image for one or two other cases also. This is principal axis. This is principal axis. Now let it be optic center P, you can call O, whatever it may be. Then let this is focus and this is F2 C2. This is F1 C1. If the object is at C, so first let me draw the lens here. Suppose this is biconvex lens. Then take the object at C. Object at C. You can call this object as OJ. From the spelling object, you can take OJ as the object. Then, how we draw the ray diagrams? First, we will draw a ray parallel to the principal axis. From the head of this object, parallel to the principal axis. Let it be one ray, and let it be the second ray. I have selected two rays, one ray parallel to the principal axis and one ray from this object passing through optic center. Then what is the rule? This ray which is parallel to the principal axis, after passing through the lens, will pass through the focus on the other side. So this ray should pass through the focus on the other side. Right? Then what about this ray? This ray should pass straight without deviation. Then at this intersection point, we get the image. Okay. So here, object is at C and image is number 1 at C. Number 2, it is a real image. Number 3, it is inverted. And number 4, same in size. So it is appearing to be slightly bigger because some error is there here. Okay, while drawing this line some error is there, so actually this should be equal to this one. So object, you can call this as image ig from the spelling image ig. So object and image are equal in size. Okay, then let us draw another diagram. Suppose this is the principal axis. Here is the convex lens. Let it be optic center P. Suppose this is focus on this side. This is focus on this side. Suppose this is center of curvature on this side and this is center of curvature on this side. Now take an object in between C and F, not exactly at the center, it may be somewhere here. So take an object in between the center of curvature C and focus F. Suppose this is object J. So object is between F and C. Object is selected such that it is between F and C. Now let us draw the ray diagrams. So one ray is selected parallel to the principal axis, and that ray after passing through the lens will pass through the focus. Right? Then another ray is selected such that it passes through the optic center. The ray that passes through optic center is undeviated. Okay, these rays intersect somewhere here, so here we got the image. This is image IG, right? So about the image, it is beyond C, its position is beyond C. Number 2, it is a real image. Number 3, it is inverted image. Number 4, it is magnified, bigger in size compared to the object side. When compared to object side, this image size is bigger, so it is called magnified. Okay. This is principal axis. Let it be optic center P and let it be the lens. Okay, then this is one focus, This is one center of curvature. This is another focus. This is another center of curvature. Okay. Then select an object whose position is between the object and the lens. Sorry, the position of the object is between focus and lens. Between the focus and the optic center of the lens, there is an object. Let me call this object as OJ. OJ. Now, draw a ray parallel to the principal axis. Then draw a ray passing through the optic center. This ray passing through optic center won't have any deviation. It goes straight. Right? Then this ray, which is parallel to the principal axis, will pass through the focus on the other side. So this is the second ray. These two rays are diverging, gap increasing. So they will never meet. Intersection is not possible in this side, but they can intersect on the other side. So extend these rays in the backward direction. This is we are imagining. If we extend, they appears to be. So this dotted line indicates that we are assuming it is not really happening. It appears to be. It appears to be. So here I am drawing the image also with the dotted lines. That means it is an assumption. It is not real. It is a imaginary. So this is a image IG. So here object is between F and P. Between F and P. What is F? What is P? F is a focal point. P is optic center. Whereas image is number 1 behind the object. Number 2 is it is virtual. Number 3 is it is erect. So as the object head is up, the image head is also up. This is called erect. And the fourth point is it is magnified. Okay. So in this case, when the object is between focus and optic center, the image is formed behind the object. It is virtual, so it is imaginary. Due to this imagination of extension of this rays in the backward direction, they appears to be meeting at this point. So it is a imaginary image. So virtual image, its position is, its shape is erect, same as that of object, arrow up, and it is magnified. Compared to the object, its size is increased, so it is called magnified. Okay, right. So these are 4 different cases we have discussed. Similarly, we can draw ray diagrams for an object at infinity, for an object at focus also. So you try for those two, taking an object at infinity and taking an object at focus.